Hi, I'm Dave, founder of Halloween Year Round, and today we are celebrating the 40th anniversary of a comedy, fantasy, sci-fi, quasi-horror classic, Ghostbusters. There's a reason that this franchise has stood the test of time, why it's still so popular today, while it's still regarded as one of the iconic 80s movies. So, like we were doing before, this is going to be a 40 fun fact video for the 40 years since its release. But you're getting a bonus video today, a companion piece, because guess what? Ghostbusters came out the exact same day as Gremlins. That's right. On June 8th, 1984, you could have gone to the theater and seen a double feature of Ghostbusters and Gremlins and had yourself one hell of a weekend. So, without further ado, let's get to it. Here are 40 fun facts about Ghostbusters.
Number 1. Dan Aykroyd first got the idea for this movie because he's always been fascinated by ghosts and the supernatural. He also lived in a house that was said to be haunted by the ghost of Mama Cass Elliot. Number 2. The earlier drafts of the script actually took place in an almost post-apocalyptic world, where Ghostbusters were just as common as firefighters and paramedics, with ghosts freely roaming the streets. Number 3. The film's original title was Ghost Smashers. Number 4. Harold Ramis was then brought in to rewrite Aykroyd's script, and initially he had only ever intended to be the writer. However, when they couldn't find an actor that he felt truly embodied Egon Spangler, he decided to play the role himself. Number 5. The role of Venkman was originally written for John Belushi, whom Dan Aykroyd had just starred with in the Blues Brothers, as well as SNL. However, he unfortunately died while Aykroyd and Ramis were still writing the script. Number 6. As a result of Belushi's untimely death, Slimer was created as a tribute to him, and even loosely based on his character in Animal House. He's allegedly supposed to be the ghost of John Belushi. Number 7. Before casting Ernie Hudson, Eddie Murphy was originally offered the role of Winston, but he declined in order to star in Beverly Hills Cop. As a result of this, the script had to be rewritten, thus resulting in Winston coming into the play much later. Number 8. Paul Reubens was offered the role of Gozer, but turned it down. Number 9. For Sigourney Weaver's audition, she allegedly got up on the couch and acted like a dog, which convinced director Ivan Reitman that she was perfect for the role of Dana. Number 10. The ectoplasm we see on screen was actually made of methyl cellulose ether, which is actually a thickening agent used in food processing, which means it is technically edible. Number 11. The production was allowed to film in the iconic New York Public Library, but they had to start very early in the day and be out by 10 a.m. when the library opened to patrons. Number 12. The scene in which Dana is floating above her bed was done 100% practically, with a full body cast made of Weaver and a post hidden behind the curtains. Ivan Reitman credited his Broadway experience with being able to pull off this stunt completely practically and in camera. Number 13. The name Gozer actually came from the real-life Enfield haunting case from England in the late 1970s. The name was allegedly written on the wall of the house in question. This whole haunting was the major subject of The Conjuring 2. Number 14. The Ecto-1's original design was for it to be black like a hearse. However, they changed it when they realized that it would be too difficult to see the car at night. Number 15. The original model for the library ghost was deemed way too scary and rejected. However, it was later reused in the 1985 vampire movie Fright Night. Number 16. While there was a completed script, most of Bill Murray's lines were improvised. He would even give different ad-libs for different takes. Number 17. Filming took place during the fall and winter of 1983 into 84, with Columbia Pictures holding steady to their June of 84 release date. As a result, Ivan Reitman was editing the movie while they were still shooting, and there were even still wires visible in certain shots that they simply didn't have time to remove in post-production. Number 18, the iconic Ghostbusters firehouse exterior is a real firehouse known as the Hook and Ladder Company 8 of the New York Fire Department, located in the Tribeca neighborhood. It still remains in operation today and even hosts a Ghostbusters party every year. Number 19, many of the ghost designs were done by famed special effects artist Steve Johnson. At the time, he already had an impressive resume with The Howling, An American Werewolf in London, and The Fog, and would later go on to work on things like Fright Night, Predator, and Poltergeist 2. Number 20. It's actually kind of a miracle that so many special effects were able to be done for Ghostbusters, since most of the major effects companies were busy working on other films. Even the company hired to work on Ghostbusters had to split their team between this movie and 2010, the year we make contact. Number 21. Dana's apartment building, located at 55 Central Park West, is really only 20 stories high, so all of the additional floors above had to be added via matte painting. Number 22. During filming, Dan Aykroyd ran into famous sci-fi writer Isaac Asimov, who expressed his irritation that the production was shutting down so many roads in New York City, a sentiment shared by many other New Yorkers. Number 23. Columbia University allowed the production to use their campus and even some of their offices for filming, so long as they never mention the name of the university in the movie. Number 24. The proton packs were reportedly very heavy, and all 4 actors completely hated wearing them. Number 25. The scene in which the Ghostbusters are chased away by security at the Rockefeller Center was shot guerrilla style, and that was a real security guard kicking them out. Number 26. Despite being set in New York City, most of the interior scenes were shot in Los Angeles. Even the inside of the firehouse was a different, abandoned firehouse in California. Number 27. A total of 3 Stay Puft Marshmallow Man suits were made for the movie, with each one costing a whopping $20,000, $61,000 adjusted for inflation, and all 3 were destroyed in the process of filming. Number 28. Bill Murray's line, "This chick is toast," has been credited with adding that meaning to the word toast, as in to be finished, destroyed, or defunct. Prior to this, this was not a phrase people commonly used. Number 29. Musician Ray Parker Jr. really struggled with trying to write the iconic theme song. It got much easier for him when he realized he should just treat it like an advertising jingle you would hear in a commercial. He was on such a tight deadline that the voices you hear shouting, "Ghostbusters!" were just his girlfriend and a few other friends because they were the only people he could get together that quickly. Number 30. Initially, Huey Lewis was approached to write the Ghostbusters theme song, but at the time he was already committed to working on Back to the Future, and that's just the power of love. Number 31. Director Ivan Reitman said that the minute he knew the movie was going to be a hit was during a test screening when the audience simultaneously screamed and laughed at the scene with the library ghost. Number 32. As we mentioned earlier, Ghostbusters was released on the exact same day as Gremlins, with Ghostbusters narrowly winning the opening weekend with $13 million to Gremlins' $12 million. Number 33. Ghostbusters remained number 1 at the box office for 7 weeks in a row, and while it was knocked out of first place in week 8, it was right back there in week 9. The only market in which Gremlins beat it was, ironically, New York City, because many of the New Yorkers were still mad about how Ghostbusters had shut down traffic for months. Number 34. Ghostbusters would go on to gross nearly $300 million. That's almost $1 billion adjusted for inflation, making it the highest grossing comedy until Home Alone came along 6 years later. Number 35. While Ghostbusters was still in theaters, the studio ran a TV spot that included an actual 1-800 number that you could call, and when people called, you got a recorded voice message of Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd saying, "We're out catching ghosts right now." The phone number reportedly received thousands of calls per day for months. Number 36. Ghostbusters was nominated for 2 Academy Awards, Best Visual Effects and Best Original Song. However, it lost the Visual Effects Award to Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and it lost the Original Song Award to "I Just Called to Say I Love You" from The Woman in Red. Number 37. It did, however, win the Saturn Award for Best Fantasy Movie, and Ray Parker Jr. won his Best Original Song Award at the BAFTAs that year. Number 38. Following the release of Ghostbusters, Harvey Comics, the creators of Casper the Friendly Ghost, filed a lawsuit against Columbia Pictures, arguing that the Ghostbusters logo was a little too similar to Casper's Uncle Fatso. The judge ruled in Columbia's favor, contending that there's only so many ways you can draw a ghost. Number 39. Due to how much his character Walter Peck was hated, actor William Atherton unfortunately got a lot of hate in real life as well. For years, he complained that everywhere he went, people, including children, would shout, "Hey, Dickless," to him. He did, however, reprise the role of Walter Peck in this year's Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. And finally, number 40. The film became so popular that Ernie Hudson had to move. At the time, he lived in a small apartment in Los Angeles, and a local store owner was giving out his address, causing fans to show up at his door unannounced.
Well, I really hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know in the comments, which ones did you know already? Which ones surprised you? Like, share, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. If you don't, you may end up, getting trapped in an ectoplasm chamber thing with all the other angry ghosts mad that the Ghostbusters trapped them. And as always, every day is Halloween.